Hi everyone, and welcome to your mats today. My name is Jillian and I will be your yoga instructor for this Yoga for Anxiety sequence. So hop into some comfortable clothing, grab your mat, a bottle of water, maybe a blanket and a pillow, and let's get ready to flow. Okay, so we're just going to begin on our mats today in a nice, easy, seated, comfortable position. We'll be sitting on our shins with our hips on our heels. So we'll just start to sink in here and connect with our breath. We can stack our head over our heart and our heart over our pelvis. So a nice, long, straight, stacked spine. We can start to float the eyes closed. Inhale, we can roll the shoulders up towards the ears, back and down the back body. And we'll start to connect with our breath. So maybe we take one palm to the low belly and one palm to the chest. And we'll start to connect with our breath. So we can inhale, fill the low belly up with air. And exhale, gush it out. Keeping up that pace, inhale through the nostrils. Exhale out. Starting to create deeper, longer breaths, connecting further with your body. Take about 2 more at your own pace. Releasing tension in the legs and the face. Beautiful. Whenever you're ready, we can inhale, reach those arms up towards the sky, lengthen through the side bodies. And exhale, we can take those fingertips and float them towards the front of the mat. And eventually, they'll touch the mat and just walk a little bit forward. And we can start to release the forehead towards the mat. We can widen the knees just a little bit so there's some space for our chest to fall in between. And really start to release any tension and melt onto the mat. Create space in the low back body. Open through the shoulders. Release tension in the neck and the face. Option to rock side to side, or remain in stillness, creating a grounding effect. Breathing in, fill the low back body with air. Exhale, gush it out. Release all negative energies. We can take our fingertips and just gently walk them towards the left side. And then eventually we can release the forehead again and just find a side body stretch on the right. Just creating space in the torso. We'll lengthen on the right side body. Connect with the breath. When you're ready, we can walk the fingertips back to center. Lengthen for a moment. And then we'll walk those fingertips over towards the right. And we'll just get a nice side body stretch on the left side. We'll start to relax in this position. Breathe into the left side, into the low back body. Start to focus on your body and the signals that it sends to you. Start to live in the present moment as we connect with our breath. We'll send those fingertips back to center. Taking one more breath in a neutral spine, lengthening through the low back body. Beautiful. From here, we can spread those fingertips nice and wide. We can activate through the palms. I want to tuck those toes, and from here we'll all meet in our downward facing dog. So I'm going to send those hips up towards the sky and backwards as I take the knees off the mat and ground the heels down toward the earth. So in our first down dog, we can sort of sit here in stillness if it feels good. Otherwise, we can move in any variations. Maybe pedaling out the feet by bending the knees. Maybe shaking the hips side to side, nodding the head yes and no. Finding what feels good. Release tension in the neck and the face. Take a moment here. Connect with your breath, open through the shoulders. And whenever you're ready, we'll gaze between the palms, breathe in, and we'll slowly walk our feet all the way up to the front of our mat in a forward fold. We'll send the breath to the low back, the back of the legs, and whenever you're ready, we can ground down through those feet, really root us down into the earth. Keep a little bend in the knees, and we'll slowly come up to stand as we stack one vertebrae at a time, rolling it up nice and slow. Keeping the arms dangling. The shoulders, the crown of the head are the last to roll up. We can roll those shoulders up, back, and down the back body. Coming up to stand. We'll take a moment here before we find any alignment in our mountain pose. We'll just take a moment to reflect, see how our body feels up until this moment in our practice. Connect with our breath, declutter the mind, and just observe how we are in this moment. Maybe we take a second and feel the mat gripping beneath under our toes. We'll start to root ourselves into the earth, envisioning our toes as roots like a tree, grounding down even further into the earth, keeping us nice and strong, connected with the earth, keeping a sense of that mat. Maybe we'll float the eyes open and take note of 3 things that we see. Take a moment, take a breath in. Notice the smells, the aromas around you. Float the eyes closed. Take one more deep breath in. Root ourselves into the mat, nice and strong. Connect with your inner courage. Beautiful. From here, we can just reach the arms up overhead. We're just going to lengthen towards the sky. Lengthen through those side bodies and maybe even a slight back bend up top. We're going to exhale, fold forward into our forward fold. So those fingertips will come back towards the mat. We can bend at the knees if it feels good, if it helps us to get there. From here we can inhale, lengthen the spine halfway, so a flat back. We can take those fingertips towards the tops of our thighs if it feels good. Otherwise we can take any variation in our practice. Exhale, fold forward even deeper. Release the forehead towards the shins. And from here we can plant those palms and we'll step both feet back into a plank pose. Nice and strong here. We'll start to broaden through the shoulder blades as we push the mat away and engage the core nice and strong. And whenever you're ready, we can release those knees towards the mat. And we'll take each knee towards either edge of the mat. So we'll take the knees as wide as the mat and those toes can come to touch. And we'll send those hips back towards the heels. So from here, we can walk the fingertips back, and if we have a pillow handy, you can just grab this from your couch or your bed. We'll just place that in between the inner thighs. So nice and supportive, right in between the inner thighs. We can take those fingertips and just walk them back forward. And release the chest towards the pillow if we're working with one. And we can release the forearms and maybe let the neck hang loose. We're going to ground our hips towards our heels and really lengthen through that low back as we melt the chest even further into that pillow. Start to soften, release tension in the neck, the face. Let the head dangle, start to surrender to the practice. Surrendering to what we cannot control. And breathing in, finding the ease in the discomfort. Connecting with our body, giving us a sense of grounding, connecting us to the present moment and the reality. Sending the breath wherever we need throughout our body, giving us life, energy, and prana. Take one more deep inhale in to the low back body. Inflate the low back with air. Exhale, gush it out. Beautiful. We can start to walk those fingertips back up. Start to lift the torso. We can remove that pillow if we were working with one. Just going to place it to the side. And from here, I'm just going to close those knees, come onto the sit bones, and swing my legs out, around, and in front. So from here, I can just come into our staff pose. So a nice, easy seated pose with the legs out in front. Spine is stacked nice and long, nice and straight. We can take our palms and push into the mat to help us. Flex through the feet. Inhale here, maybe lengthen the arms towards the sky. And exhale, forward fold. Take those fingertips towards the toes. If we need to bend at the knees to help us to get there, please do. As long as we're keeping a nice, straight, flat back, and the low belly is trying to come into contact with the top of the thighs, trying to maintain that contact. Breathing in, making this stretch as passive or as intense as you'd like, surrendering to the practice, maybe finding movement to help us through the stretch, and finding ease throughout the pose, throughout the asana. We can inhale, lengthen. Maybe those arms will come to the sky once again. And exhale, we can place them back towards our sides. I'm going to come onto my back, so I'm scooching the hips a little forward so my torso can fit on the mat. Just coming onto the back here. We're going to take our legs up in the sky. So if we have a wall nearby to support us, by all means, please use that wall. Otherwise, we'll just take our legs up in the sky. If we have a blanket nearby, maybe we can place it folded on our low belly for some grounding, maybe even a pillow as well. And we can just take those legs and extend them in towards the sky. We will stack the ankles over our knees and our knees over our hips. So immediately I'm going to start to feel some different pulsing in the veins, the ventricles of the legs due to the switch up of the blood flow. This is healthy, helping to prevent varicose veins, a sort of inversion, giving your heart a little break from pumping the blood everywhere. And also we're just switching up that blood flow, the circulation of oxygen, sort of kind of refreshing our bodies. If the knees want to point outward and we can open through the hip joints, that's welcome if it feels good. No matter where we are, we're just going to try and soften through our torso, through our legs. If we're against the wall, we can relax our legs onto the wall even further, letting the knees fall out wide, maybe bending them a bit. The two palms can stay on the low belly, or otherwise we can take them to a T if it feels good to open through the chest and start to work with welcoming new energies. Otherwise, we'll keep the two palms at the low belly, grounding us even further. Release tension in the face, maybe tuck the chin slightly, elongate through the back of the neck. Taking a couple more moments here, starting to ease into the pose. Eventually, we'll float those legs down onto the ground. Maybe we bend the knees if they're up in the sky, soles of the feet to the earth. Otherwise, if we're working with the wall, we can swing them down the side and coming back to the mat. So wherever you are, we'll meet here with our soles of the feet together and planted, rooted onto the earth. The knees are pointed up towards the sky, and I still have the blanket on my low belly. I'm just going to keep it here for this next couple of poses, just to keep a nice grounding energy throughout. So from here I can take those knees and let them fall out wide, keeping the soles of the feet together. So my legs are in a nice diamond shape. The heels can be about 12, 14, 16 inches away from the sacral bones. Whatever feels good and whatever feels comfortable for you. We'll let gravity do the work as the legs fall outward and we open through the hip joints. Relax any tension through the face. Relax the jaw. Start to soften, melting further into the mat. Those palms can remain on the low belly or in cactus, or we can even have them towards the sides with our palms facing up. This is signaling to our central nervous system that we are safe, helping to calm down the body from the inside out. So wherever you are, we'll stay rooted, grounded onto that mat, melting deeper into the earth, connecting with our breath. Whenever you're ready, you can extend the legs out long for Savasana. Release all the tension. The arms will come to the sides, palms facing up. And you can remain here for about 8 to 10 minutes, connecting with your breath. Here's where I'll leave you. Upon waking up, please start with small movements, gradually making them larger, and take your time waking back up into your bodies. Thank you all for joining me in my class today. Please take your time waking back up into your bodies, and please take as long as a Savasana as you please. I hope you all feel as rooted, as grounded, and as energized as I do. And I hope you all enjoyed this yoga sequence. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you soon in one of my yoga flows. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.